You see this crazy list that Michael B. Jordan released a few months ago that are supposedly great anime for beginners? You've got Dragon Ball, which consists of close to 600 episodes across all the different series, and this doesn't include Dragon Ball GT. One Piece, which is well over 1,000 episodes at this point. He's also got Bleach, and with the recent release of the newest arc for Thousand Year Blood War, has it closing in on 400 episodes. Naruto and both of its series have close to 700 episodes, and Hunter x Hunter, which is 148 episodes. Although I haven't watched some of these series myself, or I'm currently working my way through some of them, I do recognize all of their important places in manga and anime history. However, due to the lengthiness of these series, I would argue that they are terrible choices for beginner anime. I know that Michael B. Jordan is an anime fan, and on one hand, I'm sure that he means well and genuinely recommends these 5 series. However, on the other hand, I feel like he just picked the 5 most super mainstream ones and thought to himself, these are anime that everyone have heard of, even though there aren't anime fans. Therefore, they are great intro anime. Since I found this list to be absurd, I decided to come up with a list of my own that consists of anime series that have finished or are currently less than 100 episodes, and some really great movies. This list is in no particular order. First on this list is Digimon Adventure 1, the 1999 version. Okay, hear me out before you question this one. I know that on the surface, Digimon looks like it's tailored towards a younger audience, and in a lot of ways it is. However, this story about 7 kids getting whisked away to a new world and being greeted by their Digimon companions is filled with a lot of heart and consists of several coming-of-age themes that will resonate with both children and adults alike. Digimon Adventure 1 first released in the US back in 1999 and continues to remain popular to this day, with multiple continued series about the original 7 Digidestined. All 54 episodes of the original Fox Kids dub can be found on Hulu. Dr. Stone is about Senku Ishigami, a high school student with extremely high intelligence and a passion for science. One day, a green light engulfs the entire planet and turns everyone to stone. Senku spends the next 3,700 years keeping himself awake in his petrified state until he is finally released. Upon his release, he vows to bring the world back through the power of science. Dr. Stone is a great beginner anime because you can easily catch up with it. Furthermore, it's got fun and interesting characters and doesn't always take itself insanely seriously. Also, you might learn a thing or two because the science in Dr. Stone is completely based off real science. All episodes and the television special can be found on Crunchyroll and is dubbed in many languages. I'll be honest with you all. Although I enjoyed Howl's Moving Castle, the plot is weird and kind of hard to describe. Even with its weird plot, it's definitely worth a watch for its characters and animation. Well, Brent, why are you going with Howl's Moving Castle as your obligatory Ghibli film? Why aren't you using Spirited Away like a normal person? Well, simple. It's been a really long time since I've watched Spirited Away, and only about a year or so since I've watched Howl's Moving Castle. Furthermore, from what I remember about Spirited Away versus what I remember about Howl's Moving Castle is that I vibe with Howl's Moving Castle a lot more. But Spirited Away is a great Ghibli film nonetheless, so feel free to substitute it if you'd like. Anyways, Howl's Moving Castle is an excellent film in the Ghibli catalog, with an interesting, albeit confusing story at times, funny characters, and of course, beautiful animation. Oh, and doesn't that Ghibli food look absolutely delicious? Kaguya-sama Love is War is about Kaguya Shinomiya and Miyuki Shirogane, vice president and president of the student council respectively at a prestigious high school, and how they both secretly love each other but refuse to admit it to one another at the risk of basically looking weak to the other. This show is absolutely hilarious and doesn't always take itself insanely seriously. Although the story is about Shinomiya and Shirogane, they are accompanied by a stellar ensemble cast that includes the consistently down-and-out treasurer Yu Ishigami and the bubbly secretary Chika Fujiwara. Also, you can't forget the hilarious narrator that holds the entire series together. You can find all 37 episodes on Crunchyroll. Demon Slayer was my reintroduction into anime. My buddy Casey, who's the floating C in the podcasts on this channel, suggested that we go see Mugen Train in theaters when it came out. And of course, he suggested I watch the anime the same week the movie was coming out, so I had to watch season 1 ASAP. I finished the first season in a few days, and I told him that we had to see the movie opening night, which we did. Anyways, Demon Slayer has since become one of my favorites due to the incredible animation, unique characters, and intense action. The main characters aren't broken OP either, which is refreshing because you never know how they'll come out of each fight. Since this anime was a beginner anime for me, I felt like it would be a good beginner anime for others. You can find all 55 episodes of Demon Slayer on Crunchyroll, both subbed and dubbed, with 7 of those episodes being the Mugen Train film split apart into episode format. The feature film of Mugen Train is also available on Crunchyroll, and the film is how I'd recommend any beginner going about watching the Mugen Train arc for the first time. No beginner anime list is complete without Your Name. Makoto Shinkai's film about a boy from Tokyo switching bodies with a girl from the countryside is truly breathtaking. This beautifully animated film, along with an incredible score that glues it all together, will keep you engaged from start to finish with its compelling story. There's not much more to say here, just go watch the movie. You can find it to rent on Amazon Prime and on Crunchyroll. What can I say about Trigun Stampede? Only that it's one of the best anime that I've watched so far since being reintroduced to anime a couple years ago. Trigun Stampede is a retelling of the story of Vash the Stampede, who was introduced in the Trigun manga and anime from the 90s. Trigun Stampede is one of the best examples of consistent, compelling storytelling throughout. Every lull in the story feels precise and is always used to advance the plot or character development in one way or another. Furthermore, every action scene is intense while also not being over the top. Trigun Stampede is perfect for beginners. The first 12-episode core is available subbed and dubbed on Crunchyroll, with the conclusion of the series coming in the future. I'm going to be completely honest with you all. I've only seen a few episodes of Death Note, and I don't plan on finishing it because I've read the manga, and due to the atmosphere of the story, I only want to experience it once. However, having read the manga in its entirety, and from what people have told me, it's very well adapted. Here's the thing. Although Death Note isn't really my cup of tea, it's a very well-crafted story where the hero is more of a villain and the villain of the story is the hero. Death Note, either in manga or anime form, is an essential story that everyone must experience. All 37 episodes of Death Note can be found on Crunchyroll and Netflix. For the last movie on this list, I chose the first My Hero Academia movie. I chose two heroes as a way to shoehorn in My Hero Academia onto this list without actually choosing the show itself, because with the ending of Season 6, the anime is over 140 episodes. Two Heroes is a solid introduction into the series without having to invest time into the full anime itself. The movie doesn't spoil anything of great importance, while providing you with enough information to know what's going on in the world and with its characters. If you like this movie, you'll most likely enjoy the show. Attack on Titan is easily the longest series on this list. By the time it's over later this year, it'll be 89 episodes long. Attack on Titan is another super essential anime that should be on every beginner's list. Yes, I recognize that it's kind of a cliche choice, but Attack on Titan is truly an anime like no other. It tells a bold, risky story about racism, persecution, and basic human rights. Oh yeah, and of course, giant man-eating monsters known as Titans. You can find it both subbed and dubbed on Crunchyroll. I don't want to give too much away here because it's definitely something that you should experience on your own. The last official entry on this list is Assassination Classroom. This particular story I don't see much on anime lists, but I promise it's really good. In fact, it's my favorite anime on this list. Assassination Classroom tells the story of Class 3E, a class of outcasts and misfits that have been shunned to a remote classroom due to having low grades and behavioral issues, and how they have been tasked with assassinating their teacher, who just so happens to be a yellow mutant octopus-looking creature. Assassination Classroom has everything that you could ask for in a well-crafted story. It's got action, drama, comedy, you name it. This emotional roller coaster is a must-see for beginners, and all 47 episodes can be found subbed and dubbed on Crunchyroll. I feel like I'd get thrashed for not including Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood on this list. The reason why I'm giving it an honorable mention is because I'm only halfway through it, but I see and recognize its brilliance. It's a very intense story that you have to be fully engaged in all the time. If you aren't, you'll most likely lose out on an important piece of world building or character development. I highly recommend this show to anyone who likes great characters and compelling stories. Well, folks, that's it for my list. There are loads of anime that I could recommend, but then the list would go on and on. If there's an anime that you'd recommend for beginners, definitely leave it in the comment section below. Anyways, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more just like it, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot. In the meantime, take care.